cette information-là.
Transition from being inside to being outside, but I know the next thing I found
It's your program, and it works. Call 1-800-222-TIPS. This is the Provincial Hospitality Club with the Seal Valley Crime Stoppers is an invaluable investigator.
Son regard aussi sur la on voit un petit pop-up qui vous...
and they were just like, they were really upset. They were like, I can't really understand why this is even a thing, because it's not like you would go to Auschwitz or like a concentration camp and see people in like Nazi uniforms or celebrating the fact of like the things that happened there. No, it would be like a reflective thing, and it would be about honoring like the people who lost their lives on such like a horrible part of history. And I couldn't understand why slave plantations weren't given the same respect that concentration camps were given. When you step onto a plantation, for me it just felt wrong. Like the air felt heavy, it felt hard to breathe. I felt out of place, and usually I'm very confident in who I am, but being on that actual ground, it made me feel less than.
Why do you think it hit you so hard?
I don't know, it's something just about like the whole thing where it's like, wow, they really designed this thing so that slaves weren't even really considered humans. And that's why when you go around the plantation, you're looking at things like that, and it's like slaves don't exist, but I mean, it's also they don't have pictures of like the livestock, and they don't have pictures of animals and things like that, because I mean that was property, right? And so like slaves were basically looked at as property, like a tool.
I think a lot, and I've been reading a lot about the memory aspect of this, how certain things are remembered or not remembered. And I'm curious about what that tour of the plantation said to you about how slavery is remembered in certain spots.
That it's not. That it's something that they pretend like it didn't happen, or just like it was kind of just a means to get further as far as like in a business aspect. But it's definitely not remembered as horrific as it was. And it's almost like they just kind of try to pretend like it just didn't happen altogether.
You wrote a very powerful essay for the Guardian newspaper about this tour, and you mentioned your family's history with similar plantations. What do you know about that? What have you learned about your own family history in that regard?
So, I have an aunt, and she does like all the family history and things like that. And so she did the whole like Ancestry.com and things like that a while back. And she found out we were from the same plantation as Nat Turner. And for those of like the people who don't know who Nat Turner was, he's famous for being a slave and leading revolts on a plantation.
An iconic
So
figure in this history.
Exactly. And so
you're that Turner?
Yeah. But my ancestors didn't revolt. But we are from the same plantation.
And if we think about the memory aspect of this and how your particular tour was presented or spun, who is served by this way of remembering, by this version of history?
I mean, it's definitely catered toward white Americans. And it's definitely catered to where they don't have to like think about it. And even going on the tour, like we could tell we weren't supposed to be there. And it was like, why are you here? This is like our kind of reflection spot.
How did you get that message?
Just everything. The gift shop, the restaurant, the way that they gave the tour, the way that they preserved everything. They didn't preserve any of the slave quarters. They didn't preserve anything regarding slaves. It was all everything regarding the family. They still had pictures of the family on the wall. And it just was like, oh, this is the family and this was their house and this is the way things used to be. And black people just didn't exist. And so it definitely was catered towards white people.
You are listening to Tapestry on podcast and online at cbc.ca, on CBC Radio 1, on Sirius XM satellite radio, and on the CBC Listen app. I'm Mary Hines. Today's episode, Uncivil History. There was an encounter you write about with a young woman, a young black woman who was working there that day. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah. So there was one black employee on the slave plantation, and she had a little booth right in front of like where the tour would start.